In today's world, we are surrounded by various embedded systems such as TV, refrigerator, washing machines, security systems. But when you say embedded system consists of two parts. One is hardware and second is software. In today's session, we will discuss obstacle detection embedded systems. First, we will see what is IR sensor, pinout diagram of IR sensor, interfacing of IR sensor with Arduino. Lastly, we will see how to write program for obstacle detection in Arduino. Here we have shown the picture of Arduino Uno board and here is IR sensor module. Now we will see what is IR sensor. Here IR means infrared radiations. IR sensor emits and detects infrared radiations. Means we can say IR sensor emits infrared radiations, and if there is an obstacle in front of IR sensor, that radiation gets reflected, and that reflected radiation is get detected by IR sensor. IR radiations are portion of the electromagnetic spectrum with wavelength greater than that of visible light. So we can say the wavelength of IR radiation is greater than wavelength of visible light. IR radiations are invisible to the human eyes. So we can say human eyes cannot see the infrared radiation, but we can see the infrared radiation with the help of camera. IR light sent by IR transmitter gets reflected from obstacle and falls on IR receiver. So we can say this is IR sensor, this is IR transmitter. It transmits infrared radiations. If there is an obstacle, that radiation gets reflected back, and this is received by receiver. So if it's received, the receiver's resistance drops and low signal is set at output pin of IR sensor. Oppositely, if there is no obstacle in front of IR sensor, so IR receiver don't receive any reflected rays, so output will be high. Now we will see the pinout diagram of IR sensor. In this slide, here we have shown the module of IR sensor. Here we can say from this, it has 3 pins. VCC pin is basically we can apply 5 volt to VCC pin. Center pin is ground pin. Here we can apply ground, and output pin. Here we get the digital output if obstacle detected or not. If obstacle is detected, here we get logic low. If there is no obstacle, here we get output high. On this IR module, there are 2 indicators. One is power on indicator and second one is a obstacle detection indicator. This white LED is basically a IR transmitter, and this black is IR receiver. There is a one port on IR module. With the help of this port, we can adjust the distance threshold value. So at what distance obstacle should be detected. This range can be set with the help of this port. Now we will see how to interface IR sensor with Arduino. As we know that this is an Arduino Uno board. It has 14 digital pins, D0 to D13. It has 6 analog input pins, A0 to A5. It has power pins, V in, 2 ground, plus 5 volt, 3.3 volt. This is a Atmega 328 IC. These are the ICSP pins, in circuit system serial programmer pins. This is USB port. Here we connect this USB port to computer USB port, and this port is basically used for programming this Atmega 328 IC. Here we can apply the power through the adapter or 9 volt battery, and this is basically voltage regulator. This is reset switch. Here as we know that IR sensor has 3 pins: output pin, ground and VCC. Here we have connected VCC to 5 volt, ground pin to ground, and output pin is connected to pin number 5. And at suppose any pin, suppose we can connect any output device to pin number 12, means suppose obstacle is detected, then we can do anything. Suppose we have to use it for security systems. Suppose IR sensor detects the any person, then what, here we can connect any buzzer or alarm, or here we can connect any light. Now we will see how to write program for obstacle detection. Here first we have set means here we have used pin number 5 for connecting the output of IR sensor to pin number 5 of Arduino, and here we can connect output device to pin number 12. Arduino has two main program structure loops: void setup, open curly bracket, close curly bracket; void loop, open curly bracket, close curly brackets. In setup loop we mostly declare the parameters and set the initial things, or here we can write the task which we have to perform only one time. In void loop, the task which we have to execute infinite time is mostly written in the void loop. Here what we are sending data on serial port, so here what we did, serial.begin, here we have set the baud rate which is 9600. Then we have connected IR sensor to Arduino pin 5, and what we have to use when IR sensor detects obstacle, it sends signal on IR pin, and at that time what, Arduino has to receive that signal, so we have set it as an input pin. Then we have used pin mode command to set the status of output pins. So here output pin 12 is set as output because we have to send data on the output pins. Initially we can set the status of output pin as a low. Then in void loop, initially first what we will do, we will read the status of IR sensor. For that command is digital read. This digital read will read whether high or low on IR sensor pin. So if it is a low on IR status, then we have written if loop. If IR status is equal to low, then it will execute this loop. IR status is low means obstacle is detected, so we will print message on a serial port using serial.print command. Then what we can do, we can set the status high of output pin using digital write output high. And then what we can do, we can set this pin as high for 5 seconds. If we have to change, we can change this we have written 5000 means 5000 milliseconds, so it will be 5 seconds. If there is a next condition, else if IR status is not 0, then we can say IR status will be 1 or else condition. So in that case there will be no obstacle, serial.print no obstacle detected. In that case what we can do, we can write digital write output low, so output pin 12 will be low, and again it will check, and these instructions in void loop are executed continuously. So we can say if obstacle is detected, IR status becomes low and this loop is executed. If no obstacle is detected, then the task written in else loop is executed. So we can say this is whole program. Means only thing is that we have to declare the parameter over here, write the instruction which we have to execute one time in void setup, and the task which we have to perform infinite times are mostly written in void loop.